Making $1 million isn't hard. Making your first $100,000 is. It's getting from $0 to 100,000, which is the hardest thing because that is 100x return. That is 100x growth, right? Where when you get that 100K and then you turn that into $1 million, that's only 10x. So technically, going from 100K to 1 million is 1/10 of the work of going from 0 to 100K. That's why once you get that first 100K, that $1 million mark becomes almost inevitable. And when I say it's inevitable, I'm not necessarily referring to the fact that you have a lot of money, that you're going to earn a lot of money, even though that is the case, right? But the skill set that you have has to be good enough in order for you to make 100K, right? Like, how competent are you to make 100K doing this one skill set? Pretty fucking competent. So once you get to 100K, you are already competent in your skill. You're already really good at what you do. And it's only a matter of time until 1/10 of your work to get to that 100K will get you to $1 million. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I plan on taking 5 trading accounts and making into $1 million in 2 years. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain this step by step in a trading sense, also in a general sense, because these steps don't only work for trading, it works for any field or industry that you're in. So there's going to be 4 simple steps. The first step is to master a high risk, high reward skill. The second step is to pretty much scale up your edge. Once you learn that skill, how can we leverage it? How can we scale it, right? Using less resources, but still get exponential growth, okay? Then the third step, I call it don't let the numbers scare you. A lot of times when people hear $1 million, they think it's just a big number. And I guess their mind automatically jumps to, how can I go from 0 or $1,000 to $1 million? Like, that's just going to take forever. That's a long path. But we're going to break it down and we're going to simplify it to make it a realistic goal. And then the last step is the fourth step, how to turn fast profits from that high risk, high reward skill set into permanent wealth, right? Like, making money is one skill set, but keeping money and growing that money and compounding that money is a completely different skill set that we're going to go over as well. So step 1, mastering a high risk, high reward skill. If you want to make $1 million in this lifetime, it's almost virtually impossible to do it with just a 9-to-5 alone and saving your money. Any millionaire or financially independent person will tell you that they took their paychecks from a 9-to-5 and they did some kind of risky play, whether it was real estate, whether it was stocks, or what other investment vehicle, maybe starting a side business. They took a high risk play in order to take their stable and slow money from their 9-to-5 and pretty much get an exponential return through one of these assets. So how do you find a high risk, high reward skill? That's the next question, right? So you're going to turn long-term plays into short-term plays. What does this mean? Instead of investing into a long-term rental property, let's do fix and flips, or let's become a real estate agent and just start selling for a commission, right? Instead of investing into long-term stocks, let's day trade or swing trade like I do, right? And instead of climbing up the corporate ladder in your 9-to-5, let's either start or buy a business. The name of the game here is equity. We have to have ownership. When you have a 9-to-5, you are giving your time and energy to somebody else's equity, to somebody else's business, to something that somebody else owns. And you need to have your own. And that's the only way to reach $1 million or financial independence as a whole. So the key here is speed of money, right? How fast can we make $1? The faster your money moves, the faster it'll compound. The sooner you invest it and the longer you invest it, the faster it'll compound. So for me, that skill set is trading. What is trading? I'm buying a shit ton of stocks at one time. And then as soon as I get a small price move, like maybe it goes up $1, I sell it immediately. Think about it like this. I buy 100 stocks. It goes up $1. I just made $100. I take that $100 and then I invest it into a long-term asset so it can build over time. So how am I getting on the road of mastering trading? First, you have to create a simple trading plan. So the way that I did it to create a simple trading plan, simple but not easy. One simple setup, right? One edge in the market, a pattern, supply and demand zones, support and resistance, liquidity grabs, whatever the case may be. I do simple patterns, all right? So one setup, one vehicle, right? If it's going to be options, futures, ES, S&P 500, NASDAQ, NQ, choose one vehicle, choose one setup, choose one time frame, and then back test that setup so you can perfectly execute that setup over 1,000 back-tested trades and then bring it into the live markets. And you can click on the link above to watch my video on how 1,000 back-tested trades help me think in probabilities and take away the emotional aspect of trading so I can perform consistently and execute my trading plan almost perfectly. So the thing with trading is you want to master this until you can think in probabilities and no longer emotions. Okay, so you are now removing the guesswork out of trading and you're just executing at this point. Now, the second step is to scale up your edge. Once you learn this skill set, now it's time to scale up. Now it's time to leverage your skill set so you can get way more return for this work put in. So in this case, trading is about small edges with big returns. And this is the God honest truth. The same trading plan that can make you $10 is the exact same trading plan that can make you $1 million. Nothing changes. And with that being said, the only thing standing between you and $1 million is your mentality, making trading psychology key to consistency, which leads to scalability. Now, here's how I plan on multiplying my trading profits. After I've mastered my simple trading plan and backtested it 1,000 times to a point where I'm thinking in probabilities, I've removed the emotional and the guesswork out of my trading to a point where I'm consistently executing. I'm going to open up a prop firm and buy multiple trading accounts. More funded accounts equals more capital. So right now I trade TopStep. I have 550K funded accounts through TopStep at the moment. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to go to TopStep right now, as you can see. So if you learn how it works, right, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pass a trading combine, which is pretty much like an evaluation. So with a 50K account, you have to make $3,000 with that 50K account, but you cannot lose no more than $2,000, I believe, right? So if you start a trading combine, 50K account is $50, right? And you can go up to 5 accounts. And you can trade all 5 accounts at the same time using their copy trading tool, okay? So the initial investment is going to be 5 times $50, which is $250. And then once you pass this evaluation, then you will be a funded trader. And each account now has an activation fee. So an activation fee is basically buying a funded account. So with TopStep is $150 per account. So that's $150 for 5 accounts. That's $750 plus the $250 investment for the evaluation or the combine accounts. So you're all in at $1,000, which is a pretty good investment because if you're trading 5 accounts at the same time, every $200 you make is $1,000, right? You multiply it times 5 on every profit that you make. So once you make $200, you already made back your initial investment. Okay. So go to topstep.com, check out pretty much all of their rules and their profit target, consistency target, daily loss limits. It's pretty easy for the most part to understand. This is my favorite prop firm by far. I also have my funded futures as well, so you can check them out. So once you buy 5 accounts, you're able to copy trade them. And I'll show you what that looks like over here. So if we go to my accounts and then we go to settings, we go to copy trading. So you click on one and then you have the rest of them follow, right? And then you click up here. We have one leader account. This is the leader account and these are the follower accounts. So I'm going to trade this leader account right here, and every dollar that I make on the leader account, the other ones will follow the executions automatically for you, which also means whatever dollar I do lose, these other accounts will follow that execution and you'll lose money on those as well. But this is a great way to leverage your skill set. I'm using one account, but every profit or every dollar that I make multiplies by 5. That's leverage. So at this point, when you have something where every $200 you make, you multiply by 5, every $100 you make, it's really 500. $1 million does not seem too far away because at this point, think about it. $10,000, that's $50,000. $100,000, that's $500,000. And then $200,000 is $1 million. So I know that $200,000 still sounds like a lot, which leads us into step 3. Let's go ahead and break it down. So I'm over here on Canva, and I'm going to go ahead, and I already have it written out. I'm just going to copy it so you can see it. So road to $1 million. $1 million sounds huge, but let's make it simple. There's 252 trading days in the year, excluding holidays and weekends, right? So if you take weekends and holidays out, you have 252 days to trade. But my goal is to make $1 million in 2 years. So now I have 504 trading days to make $1 million. So how do I do that? I divide $1 million by 54, which means I have to average $2,000 per day. That does sound like a lot, but here's where the copy trading comes in at. Because if we're multiplying by 5, right, that means I technically only have to make $400 per day, right? $2,000 per day divided by 5 accounts is just $400 per day. And it's not like I have to make $400 every single day. I have to average $400 every single day. So there's some days I might lose 800. There might be some days I might lose 200, 400. I might lose 100. But as long as my profit outweighs my loss through proper risk management, proper risk to reward, in alignment with my win rate, then math is now my edge. And now it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Now, looking at it from this perspective, which is really, this perspective is really good, right? Like looking at it like this, $400 per day, $1 million has now just become real. Now, the fourth and final step, how to turn fast profits from your high risk, high reward skill set into permanent wealth. The skill set of earning money is completely different from the skill set of preserving and compounding money. Okay, these are two different things. So how do we do this? When we finally get to that $2,000 a day by trading, or X amount of houses flipped, or revenuing X amount of dollars through my business, right? How do we take these profits and keep them and grow them? Because the truth of the matter is, if you do a high risk, high reward skill set, it's not just high reward, it's also high risk. You can lose it just as fast as you got it. In the words of the great Lil Wayne, fast money don't last too long. You got to pace it. So once you make that fast money, do not hold on to it. Move it into a long-term cash flowing asset if you can, or just buy Bitcoin. High risk equals high reward, right? The more risky it is, the more the reward can be, or the loss can be. But then when you think about low risk, it's normally low reward. You're not going to yield that much. You're not going to make that much. But the chances of you losing a lot is very less likely. It's not likely at all. And the catch is, between the two, high risk, high reward is low barriers of entry normally. You normally don't need much in order to do high risk things. When it comes to low risk, low reward assets, you need to buy a bunch of it, like abundance of it, right? So if one rental property only yields you $500 a month, like net after all expenses, $500 a month isn't enough to support you, right? So you're going to have to buy like 20 or 30 rental properties. So that's the thing with low risk, low reward assets. You have to buy a bunch of it. We take a bunch of our money from the high risk, high reward skill set, and we buy a bunch of low risk, low reward assets that hopefully cash flows and preserves our money and grows it over time. So what are some low risk, low reward assets? You can buy a business. When you buy a business, here's a fun fact, right? When you buy a business that's already profitable, the chances of delinquency or default is about 2%, which means it has a 98% success rate. And then you have rental properties. That's passive income. And real estate normally increases in value over time. And then you have dividend stocks, or cover called ETFs, that pay you a dividend, sometimes monthly, sometimes quarterly. So what you're doing here is you're converting speed into stability, fast money to slow money, high risk to low risk. Trading makes big, fast money, but these assets allow that money to last forever. And this is how I plan on making $1 million from trading. Now, the real question is, what's stopping you from making the same plan? And check this out. I have this document, how I'm turning 5 trading accounts into $1 million in 2 years, step by step. You can use this as a reference if you like, so it can fit your goals. If it's not trading, if it's something else, another industry, another skill set, whatever the case may be, you can download it in the description below, and I'll see you tomorrow.